beautiful air signs, thank you for taking the time out your day to tune in to this reading for the month of April. So if you have a placement of sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini, then this is a reading for you. I'm going to start off with a pick a card reading so you can pick your own message for this month starting off. And after that, we'll jump into the tarot reading. If you are interested in a free personal reading from me, I'm doing a giveaway again this month, so you can leave a comment in the comment section mentioning free giveaway or personal reading. Be creative with it. I'll pick up on it. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that in the beginning of the reading. All right, let's get started. I want 3 cards for my air signs for the month of April. What are the messages from my air signs? Got first card, second, and third. Okay. If you need some more time to tune in and choose your card, you can pause the reading right now. This is the first, the second, and the third card. And I'm gonna get started with the first one. Beautiful. Expect a miracle. Expect a miracle. It's a very powerful message. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. This is a confirmation. It might be something that you've been wishing for, trying to let control over, let go of control over. Leaving it up to the universe, trying to be positive, trying to manifest it. They just want a reassurance that there are things happening for you behind the scenes, and just because it hasn't bloomed yet, it hasn't shown up yet, doesn't mean it's not working out behind the scenes, and soon the results will show up for you. So expect a miracle. Some of you, you're waiting for a miracle baby to happen, anything in that way, because he's holding, Mother Mary is holding a child. But I also feel like it has to do with a rebirth, a new beginning, an opportunity for something else, for your life to take a different turn in a positive way, something you've been longing for, something you maybe have been wishing for. You've been praying for something or trying to manifest something, and that thing is actually coming in to fruition for you. So that's your message. Card number 2, you have sensitivity. Very important card. You might actually been raising your frequency, working on yourself from within, like doing the inner work. Or maybe you are on a spiritual journey, going back on a spiritual journey. Maybe sometimes we have to go back and work on our inner selves. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. Alright, so White Tarot is saying be conscious, be aware that there may be foods, maybe substances or chemicals, environments, certain type of people that are no longer in alignment with you. And when we are raising our frequency, sometimes a sensitivity to certain foods or things like that can pop up, and you're like, wait, I've been eating this for like my entire life, and now I'm getting like stomach aches, or now I'm becoming nauseous, or now I'm just feeling low when I eat it, things like that. Sometimes you just gotta sort of keep like a diary or a notebook or something like that, like what is changing. Are you feeling differently when you eat different type of foods? Maybe you see a pattern when you are around certain type of people that are actually now having a different effect on you. To understand that if you're raising your frequency, that it is more and more important to understand that you need more space to recharge. Because if you're more sensitive, you pick up on more, you take more home, if you put it like that. So you also have to undo yourself that energy and take that time and space for yourself. So that's what White Tarot is saying to you this month. Card number 3. Beautiful card. Receptivity. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, your energy, and ability to give to others. Allow yourself to receive. For some of you, it's literally receiving help from the universe, receiving downloads, wisdom, energy they could pick up on and that you can use to build, basically. But overall, sometimes it's important to understand that even if we're givers, we're naturally nurturers or givers or anything that way, is that when you open to receive that same thing from others, or in another way open to help from other people, it actually helps you move forward, because it sets you off in a different type of energy. It's the natural law. It's bringing things into balance, of understanding that you give and you receive. You don't always have to receive through the same channel. So you give somebody food and a person is giving you food in return. Sometimes it is you cooking dinner for multiple people, and then through a different channel you receive a donation, or you receive, like, for example, some money, some resources, or you might win pans and things like that, like maybe like this really professional cooking set or something like that. So you're receiving something in return in order for you to do the things you do better. Like sometimes we are so stuck in, I want to do this, but I don't have this, or I don't have the camera, or don't have the, this or that. But it's okay if we really focus on wanting something and wanting to build to something, then sometimes the how we need to ease into, like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I trust that the things will come to me if I focus my energy towards building something, and things will come in the near future. Because your mind will tell you, yeah, but it's not enough, and I need to start here, and I see all these people out there doing it this way, and I don't have all these resources, I don't know where to begin. It's like, do what you feel guided to do. Have fun in creating, have fun in exploring the options, send your energy towards that with having fun, getting lost a little bit in that project, or dreaming, or writing it out, making a plan. And the how sometimes is mostly it's not up to us, because a lot of times things just pop up, or they just change, and then you're like, oh, I have the skills, I have the resource, but I don't have the time, for example, right? And then all of a sudden your work is cutting out people, and here you are at home sitting, really focusing on how can I lose my job, my finances, and all of those things. But at the same time, you received the one thing that you actually needed, that was the time to create space, right? And then you're gonna maybe have fear over, what am I gonna do? Take the place of that thing that you needed while it was just given to you. So receiving it is also accepting that sometimes situations are being created for your benefit, so you can move forward, so you can build. So the how is not always up to us, like I said. So if you're open to receive, it will increase your intuition, your energy, and your ability to give to others. That's a very powerful one. All right, I hope that I'm not talking too low, because someone is still sleeping in the other room and I don't want to wake the person up. But I'm really an early bird. I wake up so early and I have the most energy boost in the morning. So sometimes a little bit like, what am I gonna do? So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hype up the volume a little bit in an editing program. I finally, after years, figured out how to do that, girl. So I just wanted to make you guys know that that's why I'm maybe talking a little bit monotone. Try to keep it low. All right, let's start with the tarot. I'm curious what's gonna come up. I think we have a lot to talk about today, our signs. There's something specific you like to manifest at this time, you can always write it in the comments, or whatever. Write it down somewhere else, because people place your name or your energy with that thing. It actually helps you manifest more. It's just manifesting by writing it out, sending it out to the universe. So feel free to leave the thing you want to manifest in the comment section, or wherever you want. Write it down somewhere. I feel it will really be helpful for you this month. Just write it down. Like, say, if there's something you really want to manifest, just write it down 10 times. Write down 10 times a day or something. Like, really just for you, focus towards it. I'm probably gonna make like a new moon video this month. I'm trying really hard, like for April, because it's the first new moon of the new cycle, right? Like every season is the first sign, it's the new cycle that just has begun. So I think it's very powerful to do something with this new moon. But anyway, let's focus on your reading. All right, first two cards, beautiful. You have the Six of Cups and the Sun. The Six of Cups and the Sun, remembering. I feel like maybe you guys are going to a little bit down to memory lane, going back to the point in your life where you felt free, where you felt confident, where you felt loved or held or seen and heard. Like those moments where you just felt like everything was gonna be good. You know, when you received something and you just were feeling like, hey, I'm manifesting something, or hey, I'm being seen, or I'm receiving things that I deserve or want. Like something like that really be helpful for you. I'm seeing you maybe focusing on finding, a lot of times, right, we go through things in life and we're like, okay, I don't know why this is happening to me, like why? And then you go on, you know, of course, because we are resilient as human beings, and at the end of the day, we always move forward, we always rebuild, we always put our focus elsewhere in the end of the day, after a period of time that we do need. And then maybe years later, you talk to a person or you figure out something and you're like, whoa, I'm so glad that is not me, or I'm so glad I don't work there anymore, I'm so glad that I didn't get that house. And having that moment of clarity and feeling like, wow, at that time I felt like it was something that was taken away from me or was happening to me, but it was happening for me. And to really have those moments and those epiphanies really help you manifest forward in the future, because you're like, whoa, that time didn't work out for a reason. It doesn't mean that I always know the reason, right? And it doesn't mean that's always the thing that you feel that was supposed to happen. But there's always a higher purpose. There's always, sometimes it's just simply the universe creating space for you. Like I said, with that time, right? With the oracle cards, if that's the card you chose. And so I feel with the Sun, it just illuminates. Sometimes for some of you, really is having the conversation, the talk you needed to have with that person, so you can extend forgiveness, or you can have that level of understanding with one another, and so it doesn't weigh so heavy on you anymore. Or maybe you're finally releasing it and letting it go. So there might be certain situations that remind you of a happy moment from your childhood or from a couple of years ago, and those things are here to show you that how far you've come and came, you know. Beautiful Page of Cups. Yeah, it's definitely matters of the heart. It's definitely like things that make you feel good, feel connected, feel passionate, feel excited. Like all those energies are coming in the month of April, because they want you to remember why you're doing it in the first place, right? They want you to remember, and then to recenter yourself, because I feel in March there was so much white noise going on. There was so much just things keeping you stagnant in your mind. A lot of you have been overthinking mode, feeling overwhelmed, not being able to focus just as you would like to, or that you normally can, or that you were actually flown in maybe in February and in January. So the art is to understand that's a natural way for you to respond, and that's a coping mechanism, but also understand that that's something that you can step out of by cutting back certain things and getting back to the basic for a little bit, for a couple days. You don't have to do anything. It's like you wake up with this to-do list of 20 things you need to do. You know, it's like, I have to do this, I still have to do that. And that keeps you here in your headspace. And that takes away all the fun and just all the ability to really like feel and enjoy, and to just, you know, because you feel like you don't have the time or you don't have the space because there's so many things you have to do. If you're feeling overwhelmed with all the things you have to do, then exactly on those moments, it's important for you to create the things you just want to do, to just have 2 days off. You know, even if you got deadlines with work and all of that, good. One thing, one deadline. Focus on the deadline and not all the other side things. Let it go. Create space so you don't get yourself stuck in a place where you feel paralyzed. You can't come out of, you can't do, you can't create anything. And it's just only focusing on the things you have to do instead of opening up your energy to seeing the opportunities and the possibilities on how to actually get it done. So that's an energy is clearing out. It's much more about like breathing and letting it go and feeling and creating and being excited and feeling the fire again. So taking the first steps, not feeling like I have to come up with the result and the end of that project or that thing. But taking the first step is something that gets you excited instead of feeling like, oof, I still have so many steps left to go. It's nothing. The Emperor, taking a lead, with the Six of Swords. You taking back power, taking back control. I want to show you this card because it has such a powerful energy. You see, this is I don't know if you can see it very well. A determined person. It's a leader. It's calm. He's calm. Feel the calmness in the strength. That's an energy I'm feeling from this masculine. Because he's sitting down. And you see he's attracting things. You see the claw on his arm. He's attracting it in like a magnet. I want to talk about this for a little bit. When you send out a frequency of out there in the world chasing the things, like I can't run out of time, I have to finish this, I have to do this, and like, you know, you're just out there chasing because you feel like you might be missing out on something or otherwise it won't happen, and it's just out there, like external instead of anything internally. This person is like, I know that I can do this, and I'm sitting in it, and I understand the process, and I understand there's a limit that I can do in a day. But as long as I can do that and feel good about it and see that tomorrow is the next step, instead of feeling I have to finish all the steps in today in order to feel okay and rested, or feel successful, or feel like I'm doing the best that I can to get out of a situation or to get into something. He's just knowing, understanding when to rest, when to recharge, when to recenter in its power, in its inner strength, and the belief, and then actually out there taking the steps, being motivated, being the leader, being the boss, being the inspiration. There is a balance to that, and there's this calmness to this energy that I'm feeling that you guys stepping into. And look what happens. It finally calms the mind. The Six of Swords, you see, she's sort of moving and the swords are falling away. She has this power again. You see, moving from a lot of noise into just one solid sound that you can find and you can hear and that you can understand and use and work with. Notice the patterns as well with yourself, especially if you connect, you know, suffering or dealing with anxiety or depression. Maybe it often comes together, but not all the time, and often it comes in sections. One moment you're more connected to like the depression, another moments you seem to run into the anxious energy, and then there's hard to keep the balance in between sometimes. But when you notice a pattern that you're going into overdrive again, and the more you try to control it, the more you're going into the overdrive, because then there's so many things that you feel like you have to hold in place. Just sit back, ease into it for a couple hours, maybe for a couple days, But you understand the difference. You know the difference. When you get out of it, you're like, oof, I was just doing too much. I don't have to do everything in one day. I don't have to. I can, and I want to, and I'm focused. Just try to not say, like, try to be conscious of how many times you say I have to instead of I want to or I'm going to. You know, I have to or I need to. You don't have to do anything. You want it, you're doing it. You know? And maybe it sounds weird, but try to just play around with that a little bit this month with yourself. It's like, ooh, I have to. No. You know what? I want to. I am going to do it. Alright, just play around with it a little bit. Just, it's like an inside joke, alright? To keep yourself conscious a little bit this month. 5 of Pentacles and then the 2 of Cups. So, if you're connecting, if you are in a relationship with a person, connected to someone, and there might have been some financial constraints. There might have been some reasons, you know, from financial reasons why you guys may have felt apart or not connected. For others of you, it might have been I'm gonna get one more card. Knight of Pentacles. You might have been focused too much on setting that foundation financially, and you kind of sort of disconnected from the union or disconnected from the heart, right? So you give half of your mind, half of your heart, sort of the in-between to the person, and the person feels that. It feels a lack of your presence. You are in the moment when you send out that love and you hold them, and it's like there's a different feeling when you really are in your heart space than if you are sort of a little bit capable of being in the middle and in between, or sometimes just raw from the heart. There's a difference in that. But I see with the Knight of Pentacles, you're taking steps forward, and I feel that you're building on a new foundation that you can look forward on a long-term basis. You can really build on. It's like if some of you really are just recently starting to get to know someone, and you're building a solid foundation, not rushing into anything, just going with the flow, making sure that you get to know each other first. You know, to really get to know someone instead of just following the impulses, and then figure out a couple months after, like, we're really so opposite. Like, we really have nothing in common. I mean, I love the buddy, I love the connection, but for the rest, we honestly have nothing. There's nothing here. And sometimes it's good when you're really, different, because you can learn a lot from each other. But when it comes to the fundamental beliefs, it is important on the long term that it's sort of in alignment, because then you can build on that. All right, 6 of Pentacles. Good. So the equal give and take comes back. So you giving the equal amount of love that you're receiving from the other person, or vice versa. Maybe it was the other person that you felt left out in the cold. Could be. But if you're not, for others of you, it really is, when it comes to the financial restraint, things are balancing out. So it's more like equal again. So it's peaceful, you can feel that level of inner peace again. For others of you, if you're not dating, someone, I do feel that you have dated someone before that might have left you with disappointment or things like that. For others of you, it really is just level of trust you don't have. But that's something you're healing and transforming in step by step. Not like, April, all of a sudden everything is healed. Or I don't want to sound like that, but it is, you're taking steps towards transformation. I think that's very powerful. This is, again, the 6 of Pentacles is open for receiving. To understand that there is a balance. And in a relationship, you can do both sides. You both have to come up and show up equally in different parts of the relationship. Okay, 3 of Swords with the Death card. You're done feeling disappointed. You're done breaking your own heart over and over and over again. That has to do with this again. Going back to certain memories and restoring it differently. Or having those epiphany moments where you feel like, hey, I can let go. So there's a lot of uncertainty There's a lot of uncertainty with the Moon card, Seven of Cups, Two of Swords, and then you have the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like the healing journey has been quite challenging at times because you don't necessarily have the answers. You will feel it when it's the right one. If you're doubting a lot, and then you're quite balanced actually, but you're like doubting a person, doubting certain jobs, it's because your intuition is trying to tell you something. So try and really go for things that make you feel certain, right? So the things that just make sense and just feel right, because you can talk yourself into something like, I'm not really that into that person or something, but it's probably because I've been burned and hurt and I just need some time to be able to trust again and to open up, and it's all within me and it's not the person. And sometimes it is not in alignment. You can put it all on yourself. But I don't want to go too deeply into that right now. I'm going to pick up an oracle card. Extra message for my air signs for the month of April. A message for my air signs. Here we go. You have the card cracked open. Rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Alright, I'm gonna read it from the deck. Sorry, from the book. Okay, here we go. Don't let the weight of density of the world squash your tender spirit. Instead, let it call even more of it home into your body. At the center front of your life, it's through the extreme pressure of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. It's when things are at their darkest that we cultivate power, proper faith, and our light is ignited. It's through the crumbling that we can allow our wounds to be alchemized. Let your pain, your sorrow, and losses make you and not break you. Let life alchemize your tragedies into gold. Be open to be cracked open, wide open. It's a difficult time that helps us grow in leaps and bounds, and in ways that we can only dream were possible. But first, they have to crack us open. Sometimes it hurts like hell. It's nature's way. Whether you let it happen or not, it's going to happen. So surrender to the process. It's how the light gets in. When your heart cracks open, a space is created for your soul to more fully enter. When your soul cracks open, the space is created for the grace of the Holy Spirit to enter. Let your trials, your sorrows, your pain, and your losses transform you into more and more of yourself. Stay open to the possibility that your tragedies, your loss, right? We spoke about that. And your sorrows and your hurt happens for you and not to you. Well, that's what we spoke about. Bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. Surrender to the alchemy of life. Wow, that's a very powerful message to end the reading with, you guys. I think it's very important to understand that sometimes through those hardships and through those moments of darkness and things like that, you really get to know your inner strength as well.